welcome to any new visitors to Davo the Dalek, the channel where I'm building myself a Dalek in my very average Australian garage. This is my build diary where I capture the progress of my build, but importantly I also share knowledge and tips on working with wood, metal and plastic along the way. Depending on your pain threshold, you'll either endure or enjoy my sense of humour. This is episode 11, Dalek Shoulders, Part 1. In Dalek anatomy, the shoulders sit here, between the skirt and the neck, and are the foundation of all Dalek armies.
Head and shoulders, knees and toes.
Okay, it looks like I've got another piece of nasty packing crate ply here, which has divots in it. You can see the divots. I think I know the type. It's got to be chunky, hollow patching inside. But I'm going to try and see if I can make use of it anyway. What I have here is the base of the shoulder section, which is a printout full-size PDF to give you the pattern to mark this out, because it's all very rounded, etc. And that worked pretty well using the Adobe PDF program to print it out across multiple sheets and tape them together to get the finished size. So I'm going to do the same trick I did earlier. Got a bag here, little nails. I'm going to pin that through to mark it out onto the bottom sheet. Hopefully I can use it. It's really nasty. All right. Okay, here it is all pinned, and we'll give it a test. There we go. Pin stayed in. Now to mark it out. Now it's a simple join the dots process to create the outline to cut the base out to. Except I'm using a sliver offcut of 3mm ply to form the arcs between the nails where there's curves. This would have been easier with 4 hands. I don't know how I would have done it on a bench top. I could have jigsawed in from the side here, but I'm only using a pilot hole to keep the waist section in one piece. Just makes it so much easier to work with. I'm not going to show much jigsawing since I've covered that in other videos. But to finish this off, I stepped around the other side of the piece to cut out the other half of the base, and I made sure the center piece was supported so it didn't just fall away when I hit the end of the cut. My neighbours were having a pool party while I was trying to mark out the top part of the shoulder section, so I've got to do a voiceover for it. So what I've got here is I've made myself a compass. I don't have a compass this big. I could have come up with some other solution, but what I have here is a length of builder's twine with a hard knot in one end, a loop, and a slip knot in the other, which makes it adjustable for creating a radius, and you'll see how I'm using it here. Naturally, you want to keep your pencil as upright as possible, perpendicular to the material to keep your circle accurate. And I measure it, and I've stuffed up. I've measured wrong. I think I'm 100mm short on the radius, so I've got to redo it. As I say in the background voice, measure twice and still f*** it up. The slip knot I've used in the twine is excellent. It's fully adjustable, but as soon as you put tension on both sides of a loop, it just locks really tight and doesn't move at all. So it's perfect for this sort of thing. cut out the base of the shoulder section and I've taped it in place on top of the skirt, and it's fairly secure with the tape because I'm going to turn it upside down. And with the base of the shoulder section taped in place, I've turned the skirt upside down and reached into it and marked the flange of the top of the skirt onto the base. Now that I've marked out the top of the skirt onto the base, I'm smoothing out the corners and making the thickness of the shoulder flange consistent and smooth. I could have used a better tool for this job than the ruler, but I would have had to walk to the workbench to get it. I've added some locating pins here and here to keep everything in alignment. As you saw, I've marked out the outline of this flange on the other side of the board. I'm just spin that over. So there's the outline of the flange, which I've smoothed out, and I've overlaid the circular part, the top ring, which will sit up here. And that's so I can work out the relationship with the, or how it's going to sit, the relationship between the two pieces when I'm building the uprights, the struts. So that's basically where I'm at. And before I go cutting this out, I've got the alignment here. I can work out where to position and the size of my struts. So that's my next step. Okay, sometimes when you're working on stuff, you need to find a center of a circle. Well, the circle's already here, but how do you do that? Now you could get a ruler and measure it all out, or there's another little trick here. I'm going to use my same, I'll show you what this encompasses, my same little slip knot which I used to cut out the top ring actually. So you want to set a diameter greater than the radius. Sorry, you want to set your compass greater than the radius of the circle you're trying to find the center of. And just pin it. You can pin it anywhere on. Oh, I messed up there because that was supposed to intersect. You can sort of figure it out. I'll rough it. Right, and let's do another. Anywhere on the circumference. So you've got two intersecting arcs, roughly on opposite sides of the circle, but it does not have to be directly opposite. So we end up with these two arcs. Now I need to find my rule. Hang on, I'm back again. The next step is to, where these arcs intersect, draw a line here and here, draw a line, and that is the center of the circle. Is it in my center line of my work? Let's check that. Let's just check that. Let's get my long straight edge from the matter short here. So let's see how accurate that is. Look at that. Look at that. Fucking right on the center. How's that, eh? So the reason I was marking out the circle of the top flange of the shoulders onto the base of the shoulders was to get the measurements and geometry worked out for the uprights, the stays. I then marked them out full size onto card here, and then transferred these measurements onto wood to cut them out. So I marked out the circle here, right? This is what I was just doing before I cut it all out. And the reason was to get the geometry between the bottom flange and the top flange, and this is projected through here. You can see inside edge of the circle, inside edge of the circle. So that worked out pretty good. And then I've cut this out to get the frame. And here's the shoulder frame together and sitting on the skirt. So that's a good fit all round. Pretty happy with it. Just checking over a few things, and how's that? I'm surprised. And a little high at the back, perhaps. Oh, actually, it's a bit warped. Yeah, that's it. It's good. So here's the progress. There's the Dalek shoulders taking shape on top. Yep, these are Dalek shoulders. This is my journey to live the dream. Come along with me on my build journey down the wormhole.